Everyone has moments in life they can't just stop thinking about. They can be embarrassing things, like that one time you face planted in front of a group of teenagers, or something amazing like the first time you hosted your family for the holidays. And on Baby, This is Keke Palmer, hosted by me, Keke Palmer, and presented by BMW, we know to savor the good memories and let go of the bad. And one thing everyone remembers fondly is their first time behind the wheel of a BMW. So come join me and BMW this summer as we explore pop culture moments and topics you just can't stop thinking about on Baby, This is Keke Palmer. Sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
As a person with a very deep voice, I'm hired all the time for advertising campaigns. But a deep voice doesn't sell B2B, and advertising on the wrong platform doesn't sell B2B either. That's why if you're a B2B marketer, you should use LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn has the targeting capabilities to help you reach the world's largest professional audience. That's right, over 70 million decision makers all in one place. All the big wigs, then medium wigs, also small wigs who are on the path to becoming big wigs. Okay, that's enough about wigs. LinkedIn ads allows you to focus on getting your B2B message to the right people. So, does that mean you should use ads on LinkedIn instead of hiring me, the man with the deepest voice in the world? Yes. Yes, it does. Get started today and see why LinkedIn is the place to be to be. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
What is The Briefing Room? It's a behind-the-scenes look at how the criminal justice system works and the lives of the people within that system.
If you love true crime, well, these are the real people who do the job every day of making sure justice is served.
Hi, I'm Detective Dave.
I'm Detective Dan. Together we have decades of experience in local law enforcement, a profession that we think is often misunderstood.
So we're going to explore how to do it right, and we won't shy away from when it's done wrong. These are stories you'll hear nowhere else. Unique, frank, and unvarnished.
From the team that brought you Small Town Dicks, this is The Briefing Room. Episode 1 drops on August 30th. We'll meet you in the briefing room.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
And welcome back to Little Cuts, our weekly mini-sode where we dig into things that we've been watching recently. I'm Terry.
And I'm Mary Beth. This week we're talking Mike Flanagan, a killer remake, The Shape, and an aquatic horror riff on Alien.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, Mike Flanagan. Haven't watched it yet. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
haven't watched it. Curious about your thoughts.
Yeah, so obviously I'm talking about Midnight Mass, Mike Flanagan's new joint on Netflix, and as of today, when we're recording this, they also just announced that he is doing.
Sorry,
Terry has died.
I almost died on camera.
Has died on camera.
An absolute grapefruit paloma, and I almost died on it. Like, what a way to go! Oh my god, I am so sorry.
That was incredible. My co-host died on stream.
What would happen then? Like, I couldn't stop the recording. It would just like
I would
go on for forever.
I think Cassie follows me on Twitter, so I would like contact her. So I would like find her or Nick Nicole and be like, someone help. Terry died! Or is in the process of actively dying.
Oh, geez. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
That is some horror movie shit right there.
It really is. Oh, God. That really actually kind of burned.
Yeah, choking on alcohol is not fun.
No, it really isn't. Okay, so you said today it was announced.
Today it was announced that Flanagan is also doing a new limited series for Netflix, The Fall of the House of Usher, which is going to be an adaptation. Oh, you didn't see that?
No, girl, I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on the internet. I have like no internet at work, and I came straight home to do the fucking.
Okay. I didn't. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, so they just announced. Sorry, I forget that. Also, my job is me like being in the horror news. I'm like, bitch, you don't know? Of course. What the fuck is wrong with me? But they announced that he is doing an 8-part limited series, Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, damn.
So it's not just that story. It's like a bunch of the works. But yeah, he's doing that now, which is super cool.
That's fucking rad.
He's going to kill it.
With Netflix?
He kills it. Yeah, with Netflix. Not related to The Haunting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the previous stuff. So good for him continuing to make cool series out of horror fiction, which is rad. Yeah. But Midnight Mass, which is not based on horror fiction and is like one of his most personal, work so far, came out not last. Was it
2
last
weeks?
Week? 2 weeks? I don't know.
What is time? Time is the train driving by. It's really loud.
Great. But so yeah, I watched Midnight Mass. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't think I liked it as much as some people. Terry, I don't know if you're going to like it very much. There's a lot of monologuing about faith.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think a lot of people really appreciate that because it's like they're well written monologues about faith and like finding your faith and what it means to believe in God or some higher power. I was not a huge fan of them. It got kind of boring. I was just like, it's just like, it feels like a play. Like a lot of people just talking at each other. And then there's some really good horror. Like the horror in it is incredible. But I feel like the monologues really sort of like make it stall it out a little bit, especially when it comes to the horror aspects.
Yeah.
I think it affects the pacing.
Did you see Chase Williamson's tweet on Twitter?
No,
where he's like,
I saw it, but I didn't listen to it.
He's like, character on Midnight Mass. Hey, do you know what time the general store opens? And then random extra, and he does like a performance because he's an actor, and so he like records himself doing it. He's like, when does the store open? Well, and then he goes on to this whole like monologue about his past and history and his parents and everything. He's like, so when does it open? It opens at 10. After like this whole long 2-minute like monologue.
And like I feel bad because they're very well written.
Right.
It's beautiful. It's just like I got a little bored. I will say there was one monologue in episode 4, I think, that had me sobbing so hard.
Oh wow.
Steve was like, from the other room was like, "Are you okay?" And listener, pardon me, I was not okay. Because what Flanagan is so good at doing is taking, like, these universal experiences of grief, addiction, trauma, and, like, distilling them into these, like, very beautiful moments that punch you in the fucking heart. Like, I had a really close family member. No, I won't spoil it, because if I say what happens,
yeah, don't
spoil it. But it basically, like, the monologue is about something that I recently went through, and it fucking punched me in the stomach because it's Kate Siegel monologue, and it's beautiful. Like, she's incredible. But, like, ooh, I'm getting, like, emotional just thinking about it. Like, that's how good it is.
Wow.
So, like, I got bored sometimes, but it really, like, obviously, if I'm about to cry thinking about it now, like, it's still incredibly emotionally impactful. And the performances are incredible. Everyone said Hamish Linklater. Like, that boy, like, steals the show. But everyone in it is incredible. Like, it's an ensemble piece, really. Like all of his shows are. Like, there's a main character, but he really lets all of his characters shine. And the horror is so good. I can't spoil it, but I don't know how much you've seen.
I know very little about this show, actually, except that, like, I think it takes place on a coastal town.
An island, actually. It's an island.
Okay. That is literally all I know about it.
Oh. So, I won't say anything. But ultimately, it's really good. It's fucking heartbreaking, but it's incredibly well made. It's Mike Flanagan, so.
Yeah. I mean, I love him. I think he's fantastic. I don't think he's really made a dud. Yeah, I'm like thinking back, and I don't think I've seen a single one of his movies that I didn't at least appreciate. Or not just movies, but shows and everything that I didn't at least appreciate. But yeah. I'm hopefully not doing much of anything this weekend, and so maybe I can sit down and actually fucking watch this show, and maybe we can talk about it like spoilery.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about what I love so much about it without it being spoilery. So when you see it, I'll be excited to talk to you about it.
Hell yeah!
But what is this killer remake that you are?
I was nervous about watching this film.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And so I sat down and I watched the movie that it was based on because I had no relationship to this franchise whatsoever. It's Slumber Party Massacre, the remake of the Slumber Party Massacre from 1982. Yeah, 1982, a Roger Corman film.
Oh,
yeah. So I didn't completely like the original one. But this remake is fucking rad.
Hell yeah.
It's weird that it's coming out on SyFy.
Yeah. I just feel like that never bodes well. Like, I hate that for SyFy, but usually if you see SyFy, you're like, oh god, it's a Sharknado.
Right, and this is as different from a SyFy original movie than it can possibly be. I am actually a little mad that this isn't premiering on, like, Shudder or something. Because it feels like, God, I hate saying this, but it feels like a real movie.
It's like a made-for-TV movie.
Right. And you know, that line gets blurred now that we're in a world of, like, streaming and everything is, like, some variance of... But, like, when you talk about basic cable and you talk about cable shows, this is not what I think of when I think of those.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I'm hoping that maybe there'll be a Blu-ray release and it won't have this issue. There is one scene. You haven't seen the original, have you? Slumber Party Massacre?
No.
So there's like a shower scene in that one. It's like gratuitous. Like the camera is while the ladies are talking, it is like foam fixed on her back, and then it literally goes down to her ass and then goes back up to her back. Directed by a woman, but you can tell that again. I mean, we've talked about the other Roger Corman film,
Humanoids from the Deep, right?
Yeah, Humanoids from the Deep, and how.
Really? Okay. Hot take here. Roger Corman might be a little bit trash.
Maybe.
Ooh. Am I gonna get canceled? I don't care. I don't like that. Those two things make me angry.
Now that I'm saying it, I want to verify that it is Roger Corman because that's what it says on IMDb, but...
Remember when he told the director of Humanize with the D but didn't have enough rape in it? Because Pepperidge Farm remembers, and also me.
Pepperidge Farm does remember. It is. So IMDb was right. I was a little worried about that after I said that, but yes. So there's that scene in that original, and in this one, there is a gratuitous scene of a man who is going to shower outside, and the camera is foisted on his ass. And unfortunately, because it's a SyFy original movie, it's pixelated. The screener I had was pixelated. I don't know if that's going to change. Oh. I don't know if we get a DVD or a Blu-ray release, and that will not be pixelated, but the version I saw was pixelated, and it's unfortunate because dude seemed to have a really nice ass, and it was a hilarious scene because he goes in the shower and he is sudsing up, and it is like close up on his chest and on his nipple. It is going down to his V.
Do you not see dong?
No dong.
I guess it's TV, so
I mean, they pixelated the ass, so there's no way we're going to see dong in this, but it was a perfect moment that had me dying of laughter because it shows how ridiculous this trope is. And there's a moment earlier.
I love that, though.
There's a moment earlier where guys are hitting each other with pillows. And it's just like it has this playfulness of like showing how ridiculous it is that this is what people think of when they think of a woman's slumber party. And so that the premise behind it is very similar. Well, I don't want to spoil anything. It starts off very similar where there's a massacre at a slumber party, cuts to 20 years later, and the kid of the mom who survived the original Slumber Party Massacre is going out to a cabin, and all of a sudden things start to come together like they did in the past, and then it goes from there in a very surprising, fuck yeah, this is awesome way. And this movie is very surprisingly subversive and surprisingly incredibly smart.
You fucking love to hear it.
Directed by Danishka Esterhazy. I don't know how to pronounce her first name. I apologize. Who she did Level 16. I don't know if you ever saw that.
No, but I know about it. I've heard of it.
Yeah. Rad. Loved it. It's going to hit SyFy on the 16th, I believe.
Okay.
Next week. I think it's the 16th. So definitely if you have SyFy, you should watch this movie because it is, I mean, we have a wealth of riches this month, but it's fucking rad.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, this month is packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Speaking of the month being packed, though, there's another thing that's coming out next week that I guess we should probably talk about.
Yeah. We both saw.
Little indie horror.
Yeah. Indie horror about some unknown killer. I mean, do we even know anything about
who really even knows Michael Myers? But we both saw Halloween Kills.
We sure did. What did you think?
What'd you think?
Wow.
That's terrible. That's really terrible. I'm sorry. No,
I have no problem.
It was okay. I think this film ultimately suffers from being the second in a trilogy that maybe shouldn't have been a trilogy. I think that there's an interesting thing going on in this film in that it focuses much more on the other citizens of Haddonfield who were affected by Michael Myers 40 years ago. And so it still kind of tries to continue that trauma train. All aboard the trauma train.
That's a train I don't want to get on.
I'm already on it. Just going forward. But the 2018 Halloween is a lot about like how Laurie has grown up and how her PTSD and how it's affected her daughter and her granddaughter.
It's very self-contained.
But in this one, they want to branch out. And I can see why, because I think there is something really cool about looking at how an entire town is affected by a slasher villain. I think that it is a really cool concept. I just think there was maybe a little bit too much trying to be fan servicey to the point where I was like, I'm not really sure who this movie is for. And why? Why would you make this? Why would you make 3 movies instead of 2? You know what I mean? It feels like I can see where the third one is going by the end. Well, yes, obviously.
Sorry, listeners. I'm holding up my fingers going money. That's why there's 3.
I know. It's just it's so frustrating because I know I know why you're doing this, and it's not. It's just, yeah. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. What about you?
So I think there's a lot of interest, like you said, there's a lot of interesting things going on here. I like the idea of taking that generational trauma that was self-contained with the Strode family and then looking at everyone else that's affected, because of course there are fan service, there's returning characters. Kyle Richards comes back.
My girl.
Yeah.
Marion, the woman who plays Nurse Marion
comes back. Tommy Doyle, who's played by Anthony Michael Hall, is here. And so there's it kind of explores that sort of generational trauma from, like you said, a more macro level as opposed to the micro level in the first one. And that's interesting. I think there's interesting things here about the nature of fear and how it can get easily whipped up and become something bigger than it once was.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're necessarily explored enough, partly because there's so much exposition in here. There's a lot of flashbacks. There's a lot of exposition. Going back to either the original movie or adding to the original movie or bringing back mentions. Every time they had a character's introduced, they have to cut back to that character in that movie. And so there's a lot of that going on that I really don't think that this should have been a trilogy. And also, I will say, I think this is a better Jason movie than it is a Michael Myers movie.
That is a great way to put it.
Because, I lost track of the kill count at 25.
The kills in this are fucking gnarly.
They are.
There's some nasty shit in this movie, which I gasped at one point, like, quite loudly. And so it's enjoyable from that regard. And from a gore perspective, like, it's gross. Like, it is a slasher, for sure.
I didn't hate it. I did not hate this movie.
No, I did not at all. Like, it's fun. I just think that after what I saw with the new, like, with 2018, I'm a little disappointed. I think that they didn't use certain characters as much as they should have, and that was really frustrating to me.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's fun. It's a Halloween movie. You see Michael do some crazy shit. There's some funny side characters. Big John and Little John, obsessed with them. Like, they're very small characters, but I don't know. I thought they were a fun little addition to the movie, and I cared about them way more than I think I was meant to, which...
I think a lot of people did. I was actually annoyed.
Oh, you were? I mean, that's fair, because they are also annoying. Because I also really, I was annoyed by them because they're called Big John and Little John, and I was like, ugh. But they were still, I liked their addition to the movie because they added a little bit of something, a little spice. And like, but I know what you mean.
I say this as a gay person about a gay couple, but I was a little annoyed.
You're allowed.
Yeah, but it was fun. I had a good time at the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a feeling the third one's going to be pretty good. If it's like anything like what I think it's going to be, I bet it's going to be pretty badass. But
well,
I also
a little hint on, I don't know, we both were in a press thing with the cast and stuff, and Jamie Lee Curtis said that the third one is going to piss people off.
Oh, she said that to you? Oh, I didn't get that. Oh.
Yeah, a little hint. If you want to hear more, go check out the interviews with the cast.
I love a good piss me off, though. That's very exciting. So yeah, that's Halloween Kills hits theaters and Peacock a week from when this recording comes out. Right? Yeah, Friday.
Yes.
So check it out. And it'll be on, if it's, you can see it in theaters. I know they are really encouraging people to see it in theaters, but it will have that same day release on streaming. So I had fun watching it on my laptop. Maybe I just like watching things from my home and don't like going outside, but I had a good time watching it at my house. I am very much pushing for people to go see it in theaters, and I get it, but I was just like, I'm happy in my home.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Halloween Kills.
Halloween Kills.
It's fine.
Put that on the poster. Okay, so let's take it back to 1989, which was the year for aquatic horror. So many aquatic horror movies came out at that year.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So, like, I think I wish I had pulled up my list beforehand, but I think The Abyss came out that year. Leviathan came out that year. Deep Star 6 came out that year. Lords of the Deep came out the year. The Rift came out that year. Like,
Jesus.
We're talking, like, it was the year of aquatic horror.
Damn. Holy shit. Really was the year of aquatic horror.
So what did you think of Leviathan, since this was your first time watching it?
It's alien underwater.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think I liked it. I like the monster. The monster design.
So what's it about?
Really
Let's start there.
Yeah, that's true. Let's start. What is it? Yeah, sorry, threw me off because I was like, "What is it about?" Well, the head of a major corporation hires a crew to basically go deep down underwater for a mining project. While they're doing their drilling, and this takes place very close when they're done, right? They're like 24 hours out from being finished. Mm-hmm. So they've almost completed their drilling mission. They're talking about how 3 months of hard work, like they're almost done, but it's going to go to waste. They find a sunken ship.
One could say derelict ship.
A derelict ship.
Alien.
And it's called the Leviathan. It's a Soviet freighter. And, on that ship is something pretty fucked up. A malevolent life form, as this describes. But it's not just, like, kills you, it infects you and mutates the people who have touched it. Like, the first guy, Six-Pack, who gets it, gets covered in these weird skin
Daniel Stern.
lesions. Yeah, what the hell? Have not seen him. I just forgot about that guy for, like, a hot second. Oh, that's right. I was trying to fucking remember. I was like, I know what he's from. Home Alone.
Home Alone.
And then so it starts like a contagion spreading the ship. There's a monster. They all kind of like morph together, right? They like bodies, gross, body horror. That it has a mouth like
It's like the Alien
like
versus and the Thing.
Yeah, it has like an alien, not alien, anglerfish type mouth, like the unhinged jaw with the creepy teeth. So it has that deep sea creature look, which I really like. So that's the movie.
What a cast.
Yeah, what a cast. But yeah, it's basically a crew goes to do something, and for a corporation, bad shit happens, and the corporation's like, gotta finish the job. And then they all die. Well, not all of them, but like a lot of them die.
But I mean, yeah, like, so Meg Foster plays the corporate businesswoman that is sent them all to their doom. Love her. Yes. Daniel Stern is in it. Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters is in it.
Oh, he's so good.
Peter Weller, RoboCop himself.
That is RoboCop. There was another guy in it that I love.
Richard Crenna.
I think that's who they're I think
who
that's
was in like Rambo. He was in a lot of the Rambo movies.
Was it Richard Crenna that I was thinking about? Because this guy, the guy who I'm thinking of.
Oh, Hector Elizondo? Him, maybe?
That's who it is. Yes. Mm-hmm. Hector, yeah, because he was in a bunch of, like, he played a character, this is so silly, in The Princess Diaries that I really love.
He sure did.
And I know that's like a silly, like, that's my point of reference for him, and so it was just funny to see him in this movie. I love that movie.
Well, I mean, I do think he is known for, like, a lot of romantic comedies, surprisingly. Like, if you look on his IMDb page, it's like Pretty Woman, Runaway Bride, The Princess Diaries. Like, these are some of the movies that he was, you know, involved with.
Yeah, exactly. But so, yeah, I guess I was just, like, stuck on, I think, like, there's this particular scene, like, after, so they go into the ship, they find a safe, they bring the safe inside, very Titanic, where they see, like, there's pictures.
Or would you say the Titanic is very Leviathan?
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, very good point. Pardon me. Get my timelines mixed up. Oh my god, Titanic, inspo from Leviathan. I killed him again.
That just went up my nose. Jesus Christ. I gotta stop drinking.
Terry, Terry's gonna die on this recording. But, you know, they're going through this safe, and then Six Pack is infected, and then, you know, everyone's like, what's happening? And they have this conversation that is very reminiscent of Alien, where they're talking about their shares and how much money they're going to get. Mm-hmm. And that stuck out to me a lot, because it's also like the one black guy is like, they're going to cut our shares in half if we don't complete the job. And, you know, again, very Alien. And there's even, I think it's right around this point too, where Peter Weller's character is talking to Martin on a TV. And is like, and this is very, again, like Tom Skerritt's character in Alien, like, what do we fucking do? But she was just like, no, like, if we can't have you leave 24 hours before you're supposed to, like, it'll be fine. And it's just got that sinister corporate vibe of just like, we are all a slave to capitalism, and we're nothing more than collateral. So that scene really stuck out to me, just because I was like, this really is Alien, but underwater. But I also love that, because underwater is scary as shit.
It certainly is. I mean, it certainly is. And I think that they really like leaned into the Alien aspect very hard. I mean, they even hired Jerry Goldsmith to do the score.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
I guess he just knew. He was just like, all right, like, it's fine. Well, because it was George Cosmatos, who is Panos Cosmatos' dad, and Panos Cosmatos.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Panos Cosmatos, the director of Beyond the Black Rainbow and Mandy. So this is his dad.
I did not put that together.
Well, I saw his name was Cosmatos, and I was like, that's a pretty
I did too, unique... but I didn't think anything out. I was like, that's weird.
Oh, I Googled it immediately. I was just like, I have to know. Yeah, that's his dad.
Wild.
It's really, yeah, it's wild. Very different filmmaking sensibilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like father, like son, and that's okay. We respect it.
We do. Sometimes you gotta swerve. I thought this movie was funny. I loved the part where Meg Foster's character is like, I realize you've gone through hell. And Ernie is like, gone, bitch, we still here. I loved it. And then the final line when they're going to blow up the monster is, say, "Ah, motherfucker." The ending of this is bonkers.
Yeah.
The ending of this movie is bonkers. From the time that they escape from the facility, they get up to the top, there's sharks in the water suddenly, and then when they fight that off, then the ship comes in to save them, and then the monster comes out. Poor Ernie gets murdered. He says, "Ah, motherfucker," and then it ends with him punching out Meg Foster. And I'm like, this movie, man.
It's incredible. I also love the gag where the little creepy, it's at the beginning, the creepy sea crab jumps out and she stabs it.
Oh, facehugger vibes right there.
The facehugger vibes, yeah. I was like, well, facehugger vibes, and also just like, again, that bottom of the ocean is fucking horrifying, and that shit is real.
Yeah.
Like, that crab, that's a real, like, that's a real crab. Or crab, I don't actually know if it's a crab. Sorry, guys.
No, it is.
Shit.
It is.
Yeah.
And then Six Pack stumbling down to the ravine, a la Alien, except instead of egg sacs, there's tubular worms, which tubular worms are fucking weird.
They're fucking weird. And they live in those vents, those like hot, weird vents that have like certain kinds of bacteria. I swear to God, like it makes sense for this to take place on the ocean floor because you don't know what the fuck is down there. I was watching some video the other day about how there's a lake somewhere and it people haven't explored out the whole bottom of the lake, and there's like caverns that are made out of peat moss, and I'm like, the water is horrifying. We don't know dick about the ocean, about anything.
That's why I love aquatic horror, because it's like,
I know,
it's like space, but it's in our backyard.
It's wild. Like there's so little we know about this, and I was thinking a lot about Underwater, the movie Underwater, like because there's like some obviously some similar vibes, but I was really love the fact that like Six Pack and the douchebag from that movie kind of meet their ends pretty quickly. I was like, I love it when a movie has an asshole and they know very quickly that like it's time for that asshole to meet their maker. I always appreciate that.
First death has to be disposable, and of course, who's more disposable than the asshat? The sexist asshat.
Exactly, the sexist asshat named Six Pack.
Named Six Pack. Like, come on. You were doomed. Sorry, dude.
You were doomed. But yeah, this was a fun one.
It was fun. I haven't seen it probably since, I don't know, the 90s. So it's been a while for me, but it just brought me back. I think it's a fun movie. It's not great, but it's a fun movie. It's like
a fun creature feature.
Yeah.
And like, you get to see Alien underwater, which like, I mean, Alien's a great movie, and it's got all like the weird creepy suits when they go underwater, and like the whole air, like the air isn't gonna last. You know, you get all that good tension on top of everything else.
If you're gonna riff on a movie, riff on the best, and that's Alien and The Thing.
Do a decent good job and like have a really gross giant creature. I mean, respect. But so what aquatic horror are we talking about next week, Terry?
Oh, we are going to Korea to discuss Bong Joon-ho's The Host, which I love this movie. I'm so excited to rewatch it.
I am so excited. This movie's incredible.
It's so good.
Bong Joon-ho is an incredible filmmaker. And I think his range, we'll talk about this, but like his range is just like, how? I don't understand. The different kinds of movies you've made are just like, I cannot fathom having a brain like that. So I'm stoked to talk about it. Because it's one of his earlier movies too.
Mm-hmm. And then who are we talking to on Monday?
We're talking to Katie Reif, the AV Club critic and a music box programmer herself. And we are discussing the classic Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Which is way more upsetting than I remembered it being from my childhood. So get ready for that.
And has surprising thematic depth.
Yeah. Did not appreciate this movie for what it was.
No.
Yeah, it's really fun. And Katie knows a lot about it. And there's some really fascinating history with the production of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So the episode has got a lot of really cool history on top of our own interpretations of the themes. But listeners, you've heard from us. We want to hear from you. Did you watch a film that we watched and have some thoughts? Do you have suggestions for movies we should talk about? You can send us an email at scarredforlifepodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us directly on Twitter. I am at MB McAndrews.
And I'm McGailey Dreadful.
And of course, don't forget to follow the podcast on Twitter at Scarred Podcast.
We just had our 2-year anniversary. We're into the triple digits with our episodes. So please celebrate that with us and give us a a rating and a review, please, and make sure you're subscribed, because it's been a minute since we've had a review, and I would love to see that number hit 100, because we have been stuck at 84 for a minute. So can we please get to like 100 reviews and or ratings? That would be absolutely fabulous.
It would be. But thank you, Eric Parr, for artwork. Thank you, Sean Keller, for our music. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Please stay safe out there, but most importantly, stay creepy.
And until next time.
Somebody please think of the children! Somebody please think of the children! Somebody please think of the children!
As a person with a very deep voice, I'm hired all the time for advertising campaigns. But a deep voice doesn't sell B2B, and advertising on the wrong platform doesn't sell B2B either. That's why if you're a B2B marketer, you should use LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn has the targeting capabilities to help you reach the world's largest professional audience. That's right, over 70 million decision makers all in one place. All the big wigs, then medium wigs, also small wigs who are on the path to becoming big wigs. Okay, that's enough about wigs. LinkedIn ads allows you to focus on getting your B2B message to the right people. So, does that mean you should use ads on LinkedIn instead of hiring me, the man with the deepest voice in the world? Yes. Yes, it does. Get started today and see why LinkedIn is the place to be to be. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
What is The Briefing Room? It's a behind-the-scenes look at how the criminal justice system works and the lives of the people within that system.
If you love true crime, well, these are the real people who do the job every day of making sure justice is served.
Hi, I'm Detective Dave.
I'm Detective Dan. Together we have decades of experience in local law enforcement, a profession that we think is often misunderstood.
So we're going to explore how to do it right, and we won't shy away from when it's done wrong. These are stories you'll hear nowhere else. Unique, frank, and unvarnished.
From the team that brought you Small Town Dicks, this is The Briefing Room. Episode 1 drops on August 30th. We'll meet you in the briefing room.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.